Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are joined here by Dr. Teresa Alasio. How are you doing today, darling?
I am just great. How are you?
Better now. Thank you so much for dealing with a little bit of my technical difficulties, but everything's good. Thank you for being here and joining us. Would you mind just introducing yourself to our listeners to start?
Of course. So my name is Dr. Teresa Alasio. I am a physician. I'm the owner of, I don't know, I can't speak today,
it
Jill.
Is
What's
your
going
own
on
company.
with me?
Yes, come on. You have
my,
many titles.
It's true. I don't know which one I'm going to use. So my company is Intentional Self. I have a website, which is intentionalselfct.com. My Facebook page is Intentional Self, and my Instagram is Dr. Terry Alasio.
Perfect.
And that's me.
intentionalselfct.com is the website, and she has a lot of experience in so much in the coaching world, clearly in the functional medicine world. I know we've talked a lot about anxiety, stress, gut health, you name it, and increasing awareness. You always have good topics for us. As far as your work this week, how was everything? Anything new and exciting that you want to share with us?
Well, right now I am speaking to you from lovely San Diego, where I am at a meeting. I'm sitting here, and so it's a different time zone for me to be in. But the weather here is just sunny and 70 degrees, which is absolutely beautiful, and it's great to get out from the Connecticut winter. Not that it's been such a bad winter, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And so how have the birthdays been going, Jill?
Oh my goodness, the overwhelming. Okay. So it was the 5th was my son who turned 8th, and mine was the 10th. I turned 45. Then my son is turning 6 on February 3rd, right? February 3rd. Hold on. But then you got the nieces. We had the niece last Friday. That's right, the 13th. I told you about that. Then, oh my gosh, and then the neighbors, the 27th, the 30th, and got a bad call yesterday. Listen to this. It's medically related. Maybe you'll know a little bit about it. There's the thing called the avian flu, I guess, in birds.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
My son's party was at an aquarium on Long Island, and he was doing a penguin meet and greet, and he's obsessed with penguins. So they called and they said, I'm so sorry, but by law, they have to shut down all the penguin exhibits. They're taking them away because this virus, she says it's like the HSV in humans, which I want to ask you about also because I hear a lot about it on the news. I don't know, but it's the equivalent for birds. So because it's within a 10-mile radius, it's not amongst their penguins at this point, they have to protect them and keep them away. So my son is devastated now. His birthday party on the 4th is going to have to be moved. It is what it is. Let me ask you, but she says it's like the HSV, and all I keep hearing on the news is HSV, right? It was COVID. Now, could you just tell me what that is specifically?
HSV, it means herpes simplex virus.
Okay.
So it's a virus that infects the mucosa of the skin. In people, it's cold sores.
Well, yeah, because
right?
I have HSV1. I think like 90% of the population. Right. My son is complaining. He's got 2 little cold sores like near his gum. Last night I was giving him ice chips before bed. I said, "Yeah, you got that for me." I said, "But most people have it." So that's what it is. This HSV is.
I haven't heard I haven't heard the same thing that you heard, but
maybe it's RSV. She said it's similar to RSV in humans or HSV in humans. Oh my gosh, I don't even know.
RSV is respiratory syncytial virus, which has had a big spike over this year. We've had a bad RSV season. It's been RSV, flu, and COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
For us people. The avian flu, I was reading an article about it this morning and how it is really, really devastated the, chicken and egg industries. Mm-hmm. That's why, I was at the grocery store last week. I paid like $10 for 18 eggs. I mean, we eat a lot of eggs.
That's good, but my goodness, the prices, I didn't realize that.
I know. And I honestly, I think I may have to go across to my neighbors and ask them if they can let me buy some of their chicken's eggs, because I'm like this, eggs are like, anyway, there's a big egg shortage because it's killed so many of these birds. But the problem is that they don't know that the birds are infected until the point where they're sick and they die. And it's so contagious, and there's so many birds. You've seen how many birds. It's like hundreds of thousands of birds all in one space. So they all just, infect each other. So when you have a danger in there, or an infected bird, like, you have to really clear it out so quickly. And that's what I know. Then that's why it's causing a lot of upheaval in the chicken and egg industry. And it's all birds, right? So that would make sense that those poor penguins have to be protected, And it's affecting also, now what they're worried about is it affects wild birds.
Yes.
And the wild birds are carrying it from the caged birds or the penned birds. The industry birds are not really going anywhere. They're staying there. But if they get exposed to wild birds that can bring it into that ecosystem, then that's how they all get infected, and that's why it's more devastating. I didn't realize I would be talking about avian flu today, but
I'm sorry.
Here we are.
Right. What did you have in mind today? Thank you for that, though.
No, it's fine. I think I wanted to talk about gut health and weight loss.
Okay.
Because that's part of why I kind of got into this this field. I've always been interested in weight loss and all different kinds of methods to employ weight loss. I've certainly had my share of Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, all of the above to manage my own personal weight. But the way I've found the most success is really by maintaining good gut health.
Got it.
And that is the way that really has gut health has a huge role in weight loss and the ability of our bodies to shed those extra pounds. So, it's really key. And because the gut, as I've said many, many times, has its own immune system, it has its own nervous system, and it can be a source of inflammation that goes throughout the whole body. So, so we worry about, chronic low-grade systemic inflammation that goes, systemic means that goes throughout our body, that can be caused by dysbiosis, meaning an imbalance in our gut bacteria, an inflammatory diet, eating refined carbohydrates and sugars and foods that are not whole foods, or they're highly processed. And these not only set us up for systemic inflammation on a chronic low-grade basis, but it also sets us up for the risk for autoimmune disease, insulin resistance, dementia, to name a few.
Wow.
So these systems, this is a setup for what I'm talking about really is leaky gut, which causes the systemic inflammation in that originates from our gut, right? And what you have here is an increase, which causes the systemic inflammation. And leaky gut, remember, is when those tight junctions in our gut cells, kind of separate a little bit and allow bacteria, food particles, toxins, all kinds of things to go out into our body. And it causes that inflammation. So really doing that, and when you're sitting in a state of inflammation, your body does not want to let go of the excess weight. It's just not able to do that.
Yeah.
Right. So, so, so yeah, that's what I've been thinking about for today and talking about. Uh, and and one of the things really that I think is important is that people should understand that that doesn't have to be the state that you live in.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to exist in a state of inflammation. You can test your microbiome. You can find out what's going on. You can find out if you have your imbalance of your bacteria. You can find out if you have an infection, such as, you know, whether it's viral or H. pylori infections. You can find out if you have gluten intolerance, which also leads to leaky gut. And if you find out and you get that information, then you can do something about it, which I think is the most important message.
Yeah.
That you don't have to live like that. You can say, all right, I know what it is, and now I know what I can do to fix it. So you know, and you can also check for food sensitivities. There are tests where you can test for about 275 different foods that can cause immune reactions in our bodies. Not only like the big ones like gluten or dairy or nightshades or nuts, but there's tons of food that you can test.
Yeah.
And then avoid those food to support your gut and support your immune system.
Perfect. And let me ask you, that's the other thing. Everyone wants to build that immune system and eating the right things. And is there any special supplements that can really help with immune system? I mean, those are really what we have to get from our raw food.
I am so glad you asked that, Jill, because the fact is, yes, it's always great to get things for you know, raw food from whole food. The kinds of whole foods that you want to use in your diet, or, you know, fermented foods, fiber, which is prebiotics, which comes from vegetables, and fermented foods are a good source of probiotics as well, right? But you can get probiotics. You can take medical grade probiotics. They should be at least 10 to 50 billion CFUs. If you go to the store and you're looking for a probiotic, many of these don't make that cut. So you make sure that you have a sufficiently high enough CFU count. CFU stands for colony forming units. So you're basically,
I know what that is. Okay, yeah, I always thank you.
CFU. So it's because you're really taking like bacteria. You're ingesting the bacteria. You're ingesting, you know, like the lactobacillus, Akkermansia, all these other different, to name a few. You are ingesting them, right? So probiotics. You can take different kinds of antimicrobial herbs, which are gentle for your gut, which also will, you know, suppress some opportunistic growth like staph or strep, which don't belong in there. You know, like, and two of these are berberine or oil of oregano. Those are good ones that you can use. And oil of oregano also does a job on H. pylori infections.
Got it. Interesting.
So, you know, so yeah, you can definitely take supplements to do that. And in conjunction, you know, with cleaning up your diet to incorporate new foods like vegetables, all different kinds of vegetables, and even, you know, something simple like start with a salad with your meals, you know, and put as much different varieties of leafy greens as you can. Throw some, you know, now they make like salads that have like baby spinach in addition to all the other different kinds of mesclun salad in there, you know, or throw some baby spinach in there, throw some baby kale in there, throw some, you know, chop up some beets. You can buy beets that are already cooked and you can chop those up and throw it in a salad. And I think that this is a, you know, a good way to start, a good place to start. And also, don't worry too much about fat. I know that we all say, there's that maybe people will have a problem with, but fat is not really the problem. I mean, nobody sits and eats like a full stick of butter, right? But you can definitely eat like, a bag of candy, or you can eat, more bread than you need to eat. So it's really the sugar and the gluten that are the problem. It's not so much the fat. And try and avoid highly processed foods and refined sugars. This includes also your breakfast cereals, packaged food, fast food, frozen food. I remember like years ago, I used to eat a lot of those packaged meals, the diet packaged meals, because I was, going to work and using, bringing that. It was very easy. You just pop it in the microwave and it's fine. But those that stuff, it counts as processed food. It's processed, it's got a lot of sodium, and it's something that, it's not really whole food. Now I just, I grill a whole bunch of chicken on a Sunday and then just chop it up and put it over a salad and bring that. So I think that helps, right? You have to strategize, and you have to, don't get caught with not knowing what you're going to have for lunch.
Just a quick question. You mentioned salad, and I love vinegar. I love it. Is vinegar good for us? And then that's what I douse regular vinegar, whether it's a red wine vinegar. I like white wine vinegar, but I drink a lot of vinegar in my salads. I love it. Is it true that only apple cider is good for us? That's just one. I don't know if that's true or not.
Apple cider vinegar, I know, has been touted as having a lot of benefits. And especially when it comes to like reducing your glucose spike, and also, it does have benefits. And yes, any kind of vinegar will work. I mean, there's so many different kinds of vinegars out there, and any one of them will work. So have you tried white balsamic vinegar?
No, I have not.
That's really good. That's very good. It's not as strong as the dark one, and but it's got still that good flavor. But I would say that you don't have to do too much to a salad, right? You can use any kind of vinegar you want, a little bit of olive oil. You can use lemon, just squeeze lemon on like arugula, and you can even put some Parmesan on it, and it totally works. But I would say, testing your microbiome, looking for any kind of evidence of dysbiosis and infections, among other things, and evidence of leaky gut, and then looking for your food sensitivities, and then really, proceeding according to those results. Let those results, point you in the right direction. Whether you need nutraceutical support, meaning supplements, or you need some extra help with, avoiding foods that make you react. I think it's, really important to be able to have that knowledge in place.
Got it.
And really also, this also speaks to being mindful about what you eat.
Yeah.
Being aware of what you eat, whether you log your food on your phone or you log your food in a food diary and using a pen and paper, that is also very important, because it speaks to how mindful you are about what you eat. And if you are trying to lose weight, your awareness, your mindfulness, and your accountability is also very important.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. I'm going to try that. I have to go to the supermarket later to pick up some milk. Thank you. I'm going to look for that type of vinegar.
Well, the eggs are still very expensive. So just
egg expensive. No pun intended.
Oh, yep. Very good. I like that. That's great.
Uh-huh.
So So what else can we talk about? I'm thinking, you know, I would say, all right, so I'll give my contact information, which is intentionalselfct.com. And Facebook page is Intentional Self, and Instagram is Dr. Terry Alasio. And my phone number is 203 561 7980. So can I ask you, Jill, like, how much do you pay attention to what you eat?
I pay attention every day to what I eat. You're also dealing with someone who has I have quite a few different conditions with my stomach. They call it IBS. So anything I eat, I put into my body. Not to bore you, I spent a week at Temple University in 2010 to figure out what's wrong. Transit time's fine. Not allergic to anything. Everything is fine. But as soon as I eat, I get distended and I'm in pain, no matter what it is. The only thing that's the minimal pain is eggs. It's ironic you said that. I haven't had an egg though in like 2 months because I just know it doesn't really matter anymore to my body. Whatever I put in hurts. So I'm someone who doesn't have proper nutrition, does not have proper diet, unfortunately, because of my stomach issue that I've been born with. So everyday food does matter, and it's I have a love-hate relationship with food because of it. Now, as a mom, I also have children who eat chicken nuggets, French fries, pizza. So I'm more prone to eating these bad foods. And truth be told, I eat pasta a lot. I love pasta. But how could I say it? I'm not one who's super nutritious. I don't eat any fruits, vegetables really ever. I also have a genetic disorder with fructose. My body does not break down fructose. I take folic acid. So I think anytime I put any sugar in my body, whether it's healthy sugar or bad sugar, of course, that's an issue as well. My stomach does not make the enzyme to break it down. Have you heard of that fructose intolerance disorder? Genetic.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. So I'm not the right person to ask. Trust me. I would love to say I eat healthy and I don't even eat fruits. I don't even drink orange juice because it hurts my stomach even more so.
You don't, you know what? I think, listen, you have to do what works for you.
Yeah.
And fruit is not necessarily the best thing in the world for people. Like certainly fruit juice is not good for people. So much sugar, and just not a good thing at all. And I know what it's like to have kids who want to eat chicken nuggets.
Of course.
My 11-year-old ate chicken nuggets every day for his whole second year of life. I mean, he just ate them, and that was it. And there was nothing I could do. But by you telling me all about this, you are someone that pays attention to what you eat because you have to.
Yeah.
You have to, like, you do pay attention to it. Have you ever had a situation where have you ever looked into like what your microbiome looks like?
No, I never have. Like these functional tests that you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Through a functional medicine doctor. No, I've never done that.
It might give you some insight as to what that picture looks like.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe there is a piece of the puzzle missing where you can really do something about that. And maybe that's information that you could use.
Yeah. Willing to do anything. I've tried so much, and the nutritionists, dietitians. We've done years ago. I did see technically probably 2012. I saw a functional medicine doctor. I think she put some special root under my tongue. I took a tab, and after doing that, I felt like I was like I wasted money. I'm like, but again, I don't. Back then, we didn't do those type of panel testings.
It's true.
I did a genetic test panel just back in April with another doctor who's a friend of a friend. I guess she's a regular, she's OBGYN, but she also does functional medicine. She ran all my blood work, and it's ironically even in her genetic blood work, it didn't show up and other genetic testing that I have this a hereditary fructose disorder. It didn't come up in her work, but she did a genetic testing. She says nothing that would be wrong with my gut. But again, didn't do specific gut studies, I don't think. But we went over all this blood work and she went through and nothing of concern. You were hoping to say, hey, maybe this type of blood work will discover something. So maybe, yeah, I'm not sure the name of the test or the lab it was, but it was what it is. I could dig deeper. I forgot, to be honest.
You know what, Jill, though, I can tell you that I didn't know about all of the kinds of testing that's available until I started really delving into functional medicine and investigating it. And having been a, traditional Western allopathic physician for over 15 years, I had no idea any of these tests existed.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, finding out about this, I was like, wow, what has been, it's like, where have I been?
Yeah.
And I even honestly, I did this test on myself.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see what was going on. And I was shocked. I was like, wow.
All right, maybe we should talk one day. Yes, I need to reach out to you
one day. Listen, anytime, and I know it's not easy to talk about, and I appreciate you being so generous with answering my questions. So, and I don't want to put you on the spot.
No,
but,
I'm not. I'm an open book.
Yeah,
it's funny. It's like my same boring story. Like I feel like I send people pictures. Look at my stomach, and then I eat. Look at my stomach. It's all the bloated. I have a whole binder years ago with all of my blood work in it. I would go when I went to Temple. My regular gastroenterologist. The only thing we discovered is, hey, here, take Xanax, and that'll help you relax your intestines to let out the gas in the middle of the night, which does me no good because I'm sleeping, which is great, but it's painful to eat during the day. But yeah, he couldn't even figure it out after, and he's in his 80s. He just retired. But it's something that I just put on the back burner all the time. I say I'm born with it. I'm here. I suffer, but people have it worse. But the truth is, I do suffer, and I should take more time to take care of it, but I don't. But I would like to. So I don't mind talking about it. Thank you.
Well, listen, I'm here for you anytime you want to talk about it and offer any kind of like remedies. So anyway, so that is
and we're out of time. I apologize. Thank you for talking.
We were having so much fun.
I know.
Anyway,
I know.
So my website is intentionalselfct.com, my Facebook page Intentional Self, and my Instagram Dr. Terry Alasio.
Perfect.
And that's it.
Good. We'll talk next week, I hope. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Jill.
Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.